Today we are looking into the lives of the great samurai. What are the samurai? They were strong warriors who fought hard for their country and military. They were very important for battle, as they were skilled in many things, especially the sword and bow. The samurai died down in the 19th century when battles decreased and they were no longer needed for the military. Samurais date back to the 8th century in Japan and were prominent until the 19th century. It all started during the Heian period, when conscription, a type of government in which men were required to be enrolled in the military for war, ended. Nobles established private armies consisting of samurai to protect their families since they separated from the government. This began the rise of samurai. The name means attendant, and samarao, the verb, means serving. The group of samurai started out as a class instead of a military job that it later became. Samurais were the only warriors who served the imperial court, even though other warrior groups existed. Let's start with samurai culture. Samurai were known for great chivalry and respect. They were very loyal to their masters. Samurais were trained in martial arts from the age of 10 or younger. These martial arts include horsemanship, archery, and swordsmanship. There were also samurai women, but they were not stationed in the battlefield. They still trained in martial arts to fight off home invaders. Samurai kept their hair in place while in battle and off the battlefield. They shaved their front hair to avoid discomfort when wearing helmets. The rest of the hair was kept in the back as a bun or topknot. Samurai wore kimonos and a loincloth underneath. When outside, they wore a kamishimo, covering the kimono. Samurais always wore their long sword inside an obi belt, but removed the sword at home. They hid their faces with a basket-shaped hat when strolling in town for fun to avoid being noticed, if ever they went against the rules. Some samurai were notorious among peasants and visitors from Europe. Tsujigiri is when a samurai beheads innocent people on the road to make sure his sword was still in sharp shape. During the Edo period, when Japan became unified, there were 250 years of peace. This meant that martial arts were not needed from samurai because battles decreased. In order for them to keep earning money, they turned to becoming teachers, bureaucrats, and artists. Samurai had many military tactics. They rode on horses and fought in war with them. Saddles were made out of heavy wood with leather stirrups, which allowed samurais to stand while shooting. Their main weapon was the curved sword, and other weapons include the bow and arrow, guns, and spears. The bow and arrow was the first popular weapon, but the sword became more dominant in the 17th century. Only full samurai can have two swords equipped, katana, which is longer, and wakizashi, which is shorter. A tento is a small dagger used as a last resort. Other weapons include a yari, a spear, and the naginata, a polearm. Spears were for stabbing enemies. Polearms were used to cut and attack an enemy. Firearms became more popular in the 16th century when the Europeans introduced them. The arquebus and pistols were popular firearms. The helmet and armor show a samurai's hometown, division, and rank. Their armor can have symbols, which could be related to their military house or family, called buke. A popular symbol is dragonflies. They can't fly backwards, which shows the no-retreat mindset of samurais. The first types of samurai armor were cuirasses made in the Kofun period. The haramaki suit has 8 sections. The haidate protects the thighs. The suniate protects the lower legs. The kote protects hands and forearms. Samurai did not have much protection in their feet, and they only wore rope sandals and socks. Samurais followed the bushido, which is their code of conduct influenced by Confucianism. Loyalty, honor, and bravery are held higher than one's own life. This is why they greatly respected their masters called the daimyo. If a samurai dishonors their master, family, or themselves, they will commit seppuku. This is when he commits suicide by disemboweling his stomachs because he believed that instead of the heart, his stomach had his spirit. The samurai would wear a white robe as a sign of purity, then stab himself with a knife on his abdomen from left to right. The kaishakunin would help decapitate them afterwards. If a samurai had followers, they would also kill themselves because of the code Junshi, which means death by following. Samurais believed in Confucianism or Zen Buddhism. Confucianism is following the rites of the religion with a stable mind, which will initiate their full humanity. They do virtues to achieve a life of peace, which the Bushido instructs. Zen Buddhism is reaching the goal of nirvana, or enlightenment, by being disciplined and meditating. Samurai warriors were very important people in the history of Japan and in the world. They showed great bravery, class, and justice. Their articulate weapons help them to succeed in battle, and if they don't, they show great loyalty to everyone and himself with the act of seppuku. They were smart warriors who will always be remembered.